Now that Meta announced price cuts for their VR headsets, Quest 2 and Quest Pro, the $1 million question is, well, not $1 million, but you know what I mean. But are they worth it in 2023? In this video, I'll be covering the price changes that took place recently, as well as my take on whether these headsets are worth it and how they might compare to other options available. Getting into what the exact price changes were, Meta announced on March 3rd that the industry-leading VR headset Quest 2 is now selling for $429 USD for the 256GB version, whereas before it was $499. For the Quest Pro, which is a device that's meant for the VR enthusiasts like myself and anyone that wants to conduct productive work within virtual reality, the price tag got a significant drop from $1499 to $999, which is a 33% reduction in price, so it's a decent chunk. And keep in mind, these price changes are supposed to be permanent. I say supposed to be because Meta literally has changed the price of the Quest 2 so many times at this point. Unfortunately, the standard Quest 2 with 128GB still remains at $399 at the time of this recording. I'm sorry to anyone that recently purchased these devices that received a price cut just before it, so you ended up paying the full price. I'm probably not making you feel any better, but at least these headsets are good VR headsets, so I think you'll enjoy your time, as long as you don't throw them in a closet after a couple times. Before getting into the reasons behind why these price changes are taking place, and trust me, the reasons for the price changes are actually really good. I do want to cover a tip for anyone considering to purchase a VR headset from Meta in order to save money. For the tip, please keep in mind and take full advantage of the referral program Meta has in place. So ask around to your friends and family that owns a Quest 2 or Pro for their referral code, and you will receive $30 as credit within the Meta App Store to buy games or apps. There's no reason not to do this, as you're technically getting $30 for free. I do offer my referral code in the description below, but please only use it if you don't have anyone else's, because I don't want this message to take away from the main message I'm trying to convey in this video. With that being said, let's get into the reasons behind the price change. For the Quest Pro, it's pretty simple. The headset was just simply overpriced at $1,500, and it was only meant for someone that loves VR headsets, or in some cases, professionals who used it in workspaces. That's the reason it wasn't selling well as much as Meta wanted to or anticipated. For the Quest 2 side, it gets a little deeper. The things that Meta did confirm are that Meta Quest Pro will be in market for a long time, meaning that Meta will continue to sell it until or even after the Quest Pro 2 gets released. What we expect the Quest Pro 2 to be was leaked recently, and I covered it in a previous video, so I'll link that in the top right if you're interested. Very similar on the Quest 2 side, Meta claims that Quest 2 will also continue to be in market for a while longer as well, as Quest 3 is expected to be released this year in Q3 or Q4. It sounds like Meta will be selling Quest 2 alongside Quest 3. The reason I'm pretty confident about this is because Meta also stated that Quest 3 will have some high-end features, making it more for the VR enthusiasts, so they'll keep the Quest 2 on the side so that people have a cheaper option to get into VR. An easy way to think about it is like having the new iPhone selling alongside iPhone SE or just an older device. As I mentioned at the start, Quest 2 256 version dropped from $499 to $429, and I believe that this is because Quest 3 is expected to launch at $499, so Meta didn't want the Quest 3 and a version of Quest 2 to be the same price. That makes sense, as I don't think anyone would choose Quest 2 256 version over Quest 3, which will be much thinner and more than twice the power.
Wow!
Now let's get into the main reason you're probably here for the video. Is Quest 2 and Quest Pro still worth it in 2023 after the price cut? So, yes and no. Let me explain. Starting with the Quest Pro, I still think that it's too expensive for the average consumer. If you love VR and wouldn't mind spending $1,000 for a headset, you'll actually get a decent headset that's compact, somewhat comfortable, and has the latest technology like face and eye tracking, pancake lenses, and touch pro controllers, which are just so good. At the same time, think about what you'll be using the Quest Pro for. If you're just trying to play games on it, I honestly don't see why you would get this, when you can just get the Quest 2 that'll pretty much do the same thing except face and eye tracking, or you can get a PlayStation 5 and a PSVR 2 for a similar price that'll get you a much higher quality headset dedicated to gaming. If you were already thinking about getting the Quest Pro, great. Now you can get it for much cheaper and it'll stay relevant for a long time. If you didn't think the Quest Pro was worth it at $1,500, I honestly don't see the reason why you would need the headset now at $999. So it's sad to say, but for the average person, I still can't recommend the Quest Pro in 2023. On the other side, getting into Quest 2, I have different opinions. Before the price changes, I was a big fan of anyone getting into VR to start with the Quest 2 128GB version, as you'll be able to experience all of what VR is able to offer without spending thousands. Now that the 256GB version is only $30 more than the 128 version, it doesn't make sense to get the 128 version. You'll be much better off paying $30 extra for the bigger storage. So that was between the 128 and the 256 version of Quest 2. Now getting into, should you even consider getting Quest 2 in the first place? We're in a sticky situation now, as we know Quest 3 is around the corner. I think it will release in October, but that's not 100% confirmed yet. If you have any VR headset that works right now, I would say wait for the Quest 3 to launch to get the Quest 3, as it's not much more than Quest 2, plus the massive spec bump that you'll get will allow you to enjoy VR much more. If you currently don't have a VR headset and you're wanting to get into VR, I'm 50-50 on this. If you can easily get the money to upgrade to Quest 3 when it comes out, yeah, go ahead and get it. If money is tight, I would wait for the Quest 3, but if you can't wait, it might be better off getting a used Quest 2 for much cheaper to hold you over for the year so that you can get the Quest 3 upon release. If you're someone that's like, I need a Quest 2 right now,
stop it. Get some help.
It's not the end of the world, as it's still a good headset and it'll be supported for a good while, but all I'm saying is that if you have time to wait, I recommend waiting for the Quest 3 this year. So these are my thoughts on the topic. I would love to know what you think, so please leave a comment below.